Hi there, I'm Alonso. Welcome back to el podcast de Salón de Idiomas. Hi, Rox.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm back from my well-deserved holidays.
Yeah, it's been quite a long time doing podcasts, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has been such a wonderful journey. Like, I really enjoy this. But every now and then you just have to cut some slack or something.
Yeah. I believe we've done more than 20 something episodes so far.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, actually, this would be the 25th. Perhaps I might be wrong, but something along those lines. So
okay,
cool.
So look at them apples.
Yeah.
For a whole year, a year and a half, perhaps.
Yeah, there you are. Exactly. So thank you so much for those who have been listening since then. Yeah.
And watching us here.
Yeah.
Trying to do our best to explain certain things and try to make this interesting for you guys.
Yeah, totally. So tell me, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I was thinking of revolving around something a bit more different and perhaps idioms, talking about idioms and this kind of English expressions or expressions in English. It might be interesting for our audience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not only are these like extremely useful to, let's say, show a high level of vocabularies and everything like that, but also they're actually quite interesting. Some of them are a little bit hilarious at some point. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay, perfect. I know you're really into idioms. So which one would be the one you will start with?
Okay, so to start with, I would start with right off the bat.
Okay, right off the bat. That's a pretty common one and pretty used, right?
Yeah, actually. I mean, especially like in America, it's super common to say right off the bat. This comes from baseball. You know, if you are hitting a ball with the base bat, then it's going to be immediately. So that's the meaning of it. And it's something that happens immediately. Yeah. As a matter of fact, there is also another way to say something that happens immediately is like at the drop of a hat. Right?
Okay, yeah, indeed.
And do you know where that comes from?
Don't tell me. Is it like in this without the same field of sports?
Sports, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not baseball anymore.
Not baseball anymore. No. As a matter of fact, like in the past, when you had races with either horses or even let's say more first vehicles or something like that, in order to start the race, they would throw a hat. And the moment that the hat touches the ground, that's when the race starts. And that's at the drop of a hat immediately.
You didn't tell me. Yeah. Oh, it's really interesting. Really interesting. And as a matter of fact, this reminds me of other idioms whose origin lies in this kind of sports. You know, like it's funny how many idioms in English especially have their origins in sports. Yeah. Or are related to animals. Indeed, yeah. It's like birds, many of them with birds. And, like birds of a feather float together, you know. So, but there are like many with birds, with animals, and with sports. Yeah, you just keep going. You can keep going, and you will come up with more and more idioms related to this. And it's funny because I remember some years ago when I looked into we created a list of idioms. You can actually find it in the description in one of the links that we leave below. I was just studying a bit the idioms in English. And I remember that I came across this article saying that, funny thing, in Spain, most of the idioms are related to religion, to God.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah. What a stark difference. Huh?
Yeah. Whereas in the UK, especially in the UK, really, most of them originate in nature and animals.
That's interesting. And it's not like in the UK, they are not religious at all. So
no, but I don't know. I think in Spain, they used to be even more religious than perhaps in the UK back then. Okay, so right off the bat, it's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
And actually, I recommend people to use this kind of expression, especially for certain official exams. Like it's like right off the bat, when you use the expression right off the bat, it came to mind the second exercise in the exam language cert. Where you have to play a role with your interlocutor, and you're supposed to be using daily expressions. And this one fits perfectly.
Yeah. For instance, I don't know, like, so what is the topic about? What are we going to talk about? Well, right off the bat, I can tell you that we are going to talk about idioms.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It flows really naturally within
it's
the
simple.
display.
It doesn't seem forced at all, something like that. No, it's great. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a different one. I'm not sure you guys whether you heard of it. Perhaps you did, or perhaps you have. It's actually a phrasal verb, to butter someone up. So do you know what the meaning is?
I mean, I know that it's like when you are being nice to someone, you're like saying some nice things for a specific purpose. But
indeed, yeah, you flatter someone or you praise someone, usually to gain a favor. In Spanish, there are many expressions as well for this. And okay, so to butter someone up, I always thought, why butter? What does butter have to do with it? Well, apparently in some ancient Indian ceremonies, people will throw butter balls, to some statues of gods. Wow. It was crazy, just to seek good fortune.
Wow, that is so interesting. I thought that it was like simpler. I don't know, like you spread some butter in a toast or something so it's easier to swallow.
Well, that's what that's a bit more scientific, like it makes sense. Yeah, it actually
okay.
Makes sense. Yeah, well, this is what I found. Perhaps the funny thing about idioms is that you actually never know the exact origin. There might be hundreds of reasons why these expressions came to be used in this manner a long time.
So in this case, what I would just recommend is that when it comes to origin, just pick the one that you fancy the most.
Yeah, right off the bat. Okay, so do you have anything?
Okay, so now, however, I do have one that has a specific origin and there's no way to deny it. But I have to, let's say, rehearse it a little since I have to act a little.
Okay.
This comes from Shakespeare.
Okay, yeah, many come from Shakespeare.
So, the world is your oyster.
Okay, oh my God, I heard that.
So, it comes from William Shakespeare, from his play The Merry Wives of Windsor in Act 2 and the Scene 2 as well. When the character Falstaff says, and it goes, "Why then the world mine's oyster, which I would swallow with open." I don't know, my British accent is not the best.
That was spot on. You're quite an actor. Don't you think so, guys? Okay, that was really fun.
This means that the world is full of opportunities and like you can do whatever you want, something like that.
Make the most of it. There are like plenty of chances for you to be successful or something like that.
If you you could also, I don't know, if you want to translate it into something a little bit more casual, you can say that it's kind of like similar to saying YOLO.
Quite a difference if you take that from old Shakespearean times, I'm not sure, I think it's called like that, till now, and you just reduce all that long interesting metaphor to just some acronym, YOLO. You only live once, okay? It's a bit scary the way, culturally we've evolved. At least in terms of like the language, the use of the language.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There are indeed many idioms with food. We were talking about idioms with animals, birds, sports, and food. I didn't bring any idiom with food today, but I've always wondered, and perhaps we will just leave it to be if you don't happen to know the meaning, because I actually don't know it, is the one with to be a cool cucumber.
What? That's the first time I've heard that.
No way, really? Okay, so to be a cool cucumber is to be like a laid-back person who doesn't get frazzled, doesn't get nervous too easily.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, but
I like it.
Okay, my bad. I haven't looked for the possible origin of this one, but it's a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a cool cucumber?
Most of the time,
okay.
But I guess that depends. So perhaps not. Now that I think a little bit further, then I'm not a cool cucumber. I wish I could.
Okay, so that's the aim for next year, for example, is to be a cool cucumber.
There you are.
Okay, now sorry guys, I don't know the meaning, but it's pretty fun, right? I mean, you can use it if you want to describe someone who is a bit more laid back, you know, and it's not that nervous. So anyhow, I have some more idioms on my repertoire here. Okay, now perhaps as well you've heard of pulling someone's leg.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Do you usually pull people's leg?
That depends. I have to feel like really confident with a person to pull their legs.
Okay. So to pull someone's leg is to tease someone. Okay, usually by, you know, usually in a joking manner. And apparently, I mean, there are like many possible origins, but according to, I don't know, like the most common possible origin may lay in the fact that thieves would pull people's legs, you know, like to stop them and to actually rob them. You know, so it was like to pull their leg just to, you know, to make them fall down and to have, you know, like to seize the opportunity of actually robbing them from money. So it was not a good thing, okay? It was not a good thing, but I guess for someone out there might have been something funny. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like,
to see people.
Why is it supposed to be like, yeah, I'm teasing you? No, I'm actually robbing you.
Well, I think it's just evolved from like a really serious, like a, you know, a serious problem to a big problem to something which in the end nowadays refers to just, you know,
interesting.
Just the fact that you are teasing someone, you know, stop pulling my leg, or, oh my gosh, I love to pull my sister's leg.
Nice. Human nature. We make everything a joke.
Yeah. But it's funny though how this meaning evolved into turning into, I don't know, into something a bit more different to the original.
I would have never thought that it had that kind of origin. I mean, I'm thinking right now that you're pulling my leg.
It looks like it, right? Like, one would expect a more like, I don't know, intricate origin of such an idiom, but apparently it's as easy as that.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything different?
Now, I have something that is not necessarily related to food directly. Okay. I mean, like not in the words. However, it has to do with food. Since, we always have to talk about food. Now, I know the answer already, but I'm still going to ask you. Do you tend to have a lot on your plate, Rox?
Too much. I have menus on my plate. Okay, it's a pretty good one.
So basically it doesn't have like a specific origin. It's just like something, I don't know, society considered that it was like a nice illustration to like imagining someone, I guess, I don't know, like perhaps a waiter or something, or someone who was like having a bunch of things on their hands, food related, and that means that you're like extremely busy. Perhaps something like that.
Be really busy,
so and there are other ways if perhaps saying that you have a lot on your plate as a verb doesn't, I don't know, cut the mustard for you.
That was really nice. That was really nice. You really faced it in there.
You could also say that you are snowed under.
Yeah, I love that one. I
love that. Why? What's your problem? I love being snowed under and swamped in.
I'm constantly look at him. He's in stitches now. You know that's another one. To be in stitches is to be like this. You know, just keep laughing a lot. So I know because I'm constantly snowed under. I think I even get to like the feeling. You know, like to be like multitasking, doing many things, having a lot on my plate, and as a matter of fact, I think I use more to be snowed under than to have.
Than being a cool cucumber.
Indeed. No, with this conversation, it proves that neither of us are actually cool cucumbers.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, no.
I hope you guys are, okay?
I try to look laid back, but no, not really.
Okay. So I have an interesting one as well.
Let
me. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you the idiom, and tell me if you know it or if you've used it. So, flying off the handle, or to fly off the handle.
What?
Well,
No.
wait, what?
No, I'm gonna say that no.
No, okay. So to fly off the handle is to become enraged off the bat, to become suddenly angry, like really angry, like red angry. So apparently, according to what I found, it goes back to the time when, like some years ago, or perhaps a bit more than some years ago, when axes were poorly made, and you will just try, like to cut something with all that, like, I don't know, like strength and the axes, because they were poorly made, they would just fly off the handle, all of a sudden. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think it refers to the movement and to the fact that it's so fast.
Yeah, and perhaps, that if someone is in the road and they have an axe falling, and then, like, I don't know, someone like just dropping on you, so super mad. It's like, wow.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to refer to the fact that someone gets angry easily, you can say things like, okay, so he flies off the handle at the slightest thing, like very easily, very fastly.
There you are. Now, what is another one that I have? Oh, well, this is a really simple one. However, I believe that is super useful without breaking a sweat.
Okay. Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, this doesn't really have like specific origin. It's more like a visual thing. If you're doing something effortlessly, you would just say that you are doing it without breaking a sweat. Like you're not sweating at all. No, without like any difficulties. So that's also like something that is really useful. For instance, if you know the answer of a question of like an official exam, you can just say, oh, well, without breaking a sweat, I can tell you that the answer is X, Y, and Z.
And I'm like that, I don't break a sweat here. That's a really cool one.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things, and I believe even in one of the latest lives we did, was the importance of facing in idioms within your speech or even your writing, if that writing is suitable, because not all the writings are suitable. If they are like informal or semi-formal, go ahead, use idioms. So in that live, I was providing some idioms that would make you sound more native-like and therefore having like a higher level. Now, the thing that I think I missed in that lesson was to warn people not to use that many. Because, I mean, I love idioms. I love everything which is related to the language, English language or even Spanish.
Yeah.
And what happened is that I get so much into this that eventually I end up just, like using idioms for mostly everything.
There you are.
It may sound a bit too flowery.
You think so?
I don't know. And I think you brought today a pretty interesting speech, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. However, before that, I have one more that I almost missed that I really fancy. Now, something that, I mean, if I am like, taking my time to not actually tell you something, so I don't really want to do it, perhaps I have forgotten and I'm just trying to figure it out. How
like
do
now.
I mean, you could say that perhaps you could say that right now I'm beating around the bushes.
Okay, yeah. Along with nature.
Yeah, along with nature and also animals, as a matter of fact. You would say, why? Well, actually, the meaning of beating around the bushes, when you, let's say, you don't want to do something, as I was like just illustrating a moment ago, comes from hunting. Hunters would usually like use a stick to move the bushes around, so the birds or small animals would like move.
Prey.
So exactly. So they like translated that like sometimes when, let's say, somebody told them like, oh, you have to do whatever, they would know I have to hunt, and they would just use their stick and beat around the bushes. Like I'm hunting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Avoid working.
Yeah.
Just to waste some time doing nothing.
So eventually it was like, no, you're just beating around the bushes. Yeah.
Never thought of it like that. It only struck my attention. I thought it was related to hunting, but I never actually linked the dots to just wasting the time doing nothing just for the sake of avoiding work.
Yeah.
Okay. In that specific case with beating around the bushes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Really good one and really used one.
Yeah. Actually, I use it all the time. And if I want to be a little bit more, let's say, aggressive, perhaps, I say, spill the beans, come on.
Yeah, stop beating around the bushes.
Spill the beans. Okay.
That's such a British one.
Yeah. Beans.
Okay, so I have some more in my repertoire, but I would so much love to listen to what you brought today. Like this compendium of idioms.
So yeah, I have a really short story here where we're using some of the idioms that I have mentioned a moment ago.
Okay.
And it goes like this. During the company's annual meeting, the CEO addressed the elephant in the room. The reason, drop in profits. Right off the bat, she reassured everyone that they had a plan to turn things around and urged employees to take on the challenge with the attitude that the world is their oyster. Despite the daunting task, she explained it was absolutely manageable and that the team could handle it without breaking a sweat. She encouraged them to face the issues directly and not beat around the bushes, acknowledging that there was a lot on their plates, but with determination, they could virtually overcome any obstacle.
Oh my God. Okay. That was really spot on. Yeah. Hats down.
Thank you.
Okay, that was amazing. That was really cool. What do you think, guys? I think it would be amazing just to leave it in the comment.
Yeah.
In the comment area.
Yeah, let's leave it in the comment.
To see.
Yeah.
And that's a really good exercise to play or to do, grab some expressions and try to face them or cram them in a short speech or a short writing.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, you work your brains on how to use them within a specific context.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And perhaps a good way to practice idioms and incorporate in your speech is kind of like trying to use them as categories. What I mean is that some idioms are used like nouns and some idioms are used like verbs. So perhaps you should have like a list. Okay, so beat around the bushes is a verb. Okay, and the world is your oyster is just like an expression and that's it. It's perhaps if you want to call it like an adjective.
Yeah, or the silver lining is a noun. So that way you...
Exactly. That way, like having this category so you know how to use them. Because sometimes you're like, okay, that's a cool meaning. How do I use them? So, well, if you know that this is a verb, well, you have a great start or something along those lines.
Indeed. And I think what actually might make idioms easier to remember is the fact that it's pretty visual.
Yeah, exactly.
You can picture, like the scene in your mind. So it's easier to imagine like a cool cucumber.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, I would like to imagine it with sunglasses. So that's mine.
Okay, so it's easier just to picture that in your mind, and eventually that's like a memory technique, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you have a point there, by the way. I have had students that tend to have problems differentiating phrasal verbs with idioms. Mm-hmm. So easily, well, an idiom you can imagine it, and phrasal verbs they're not that easy.
Yeah, like whenever it's funny because even though it's incorporated in my language and I don't even think of it when I use it, but when I use to butter someone up, I keep imaging, I keep picturing butter and to actually buttering, like with the bar of butter, buttering someone up, it's like something I can't help picturing in my mind whenever I use it.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that now my image is going to change. I'm going to imagine someone like throwing a block of butter. I'm going to stop imagining someone like doing this with a toast.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was a pretty noble, like intention with those ceremonies.
Yeah,
but now it's a bit fun to imagine.
Just that now I have a different image in my head.
Okay, so I do have some more, so we can we can cover. Perhaps you heard this one when something is like extremely expensive.
Oh, yeah. So that's an interesting one, since like depending on the culture, you're going to sell different parts of your body.
Oh gosh. Sense of humor.
Yeah. Like in Spanish, you would sell your eyes or your kidneys. And in English, what do we say?
It costs an arm and a leg. You know, it's funny because when something is very expensive, it's definitely not a bargain. It's really expensive. I guess you already know, we say that it costs an arm and a leg. So I've always thought that the idiom originated in something related to the war. And perhaps it did. But there are like other options. And apparently the story is funny because the story goes that this phrase originated in the 18th century paintings. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I love the look on your face.
Okay, so okay. I think that everything is coming clear
You're
now.
linking the dots.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I guess that like, okay, yes, I can paint your face. That would be, let's say, €5. But if you want me to paint your arm, then that's gonna be 10 more euros, and you'll be like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so when famous people would want to have their portraits done, okay, some of them, because they wouldn't have enough budget, and I guess it went farther than €5. It's not like a picture now. Okay, it was much more expensive to have your portrait done. So these people sometimes will tell that their portraits should be done without certain limbs. Okay, so limb can be an arm or can be a leg. That way they will save some money. Because the painting was too expensive, so it cost those people an arm and a leg, or just an arm, or just a leg, or both, all the limbs.
Okay, well, that's a little less sinister than what I pictured.
By the way, oh my God, I have such a bad joke. It just came to my mind right now. Sorry, guys, if you listen, but I'm gonna ask you. This is a riddle, kind of a riddle. It's a joke and a riddle.
Okay.
A British one. And we know British humor is special. Okay, so how do you call a statue without limbs? You know, like a statue of a man without arms and legs.
I don't know, Venus?
Well, I forgot the statue of a man, you know, like a male body.
Okay.
Without the limbs.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to try. I feel scared.
It's scary. Yeah. Well, we call him Art from Arthur.
Arthur?
Do you get it? We call it Art. So Art is like the short name to Arthur.
Oh no.
You know, yeah. Like, you know, when I first heard that, it's like such a bad joke, but for many people, it will be funny. Now, I couldn't get rid of it, and I've heard it like, I don't know, 20 years ago. I still have it. I was in the UK. Someone told me, it's like, oh gosh, one of the worst.
Core memory.
They would just laugh in stitches. So yeah, Art. Okay, better move on. Okay, guys, so I have a different one. It's usually used with a negation, but the idiom is to throw the baby out with the bath water. Yeah, throw the baby out with the bath water or water.
That still sounds sinister. Please explain.
We usually use it in negative, like, hey, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Okay, so the meaning is, don't discard something good or valuable because you want to get rid of something undesirable.
Is that the baby?
So the baby is like, so the something, the valuable thing, the valuable idea, so the valuable things will be the baby, you know. So don't discard the valuable things in the attempt of getting rid of bad things. Okay,
great. Now it's explained, and now it doesn't sound sinister.
Okay.
Great.
So the meaning has nothing to do, or at least not anymore, okay, with the original, the current meaning with the original one. Okay, but it's quite interesting to think of it when I'm going to tell you the origin. Okay, so this idiom allegedly, okay, comes from a time in the middle. You might think of it a time like a long time ago, medieval ages, when the household bathed in the same water.
Yeah,
I guess you know, guys, that in Europe, in medieval ages, people would bathe not very commonly. I think it was even a religion thing. Perhaps. I think perhaps it was a religion thing. A religious thing is like, I don't know why. I don't know. I heard that it might be linked to religion, not just to the fact that they were just some dirty guys, which they were, okay? So basically the household will bathe in the same water. First, the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the man, then the lady, okay? Then the women working, in that household. Then the children. And at last, the babies. They were left the last, okay? Now imagine those babies would not have any allergies. Those guys will be prepared for...
Yeah, if they endure that,
they were well equipped for the future that lied before them. Okay? Okay, sorry, but it's reality, okay? Yeah. So the bath water is said to have been so dirty that there was a risk of throwing the baby out with the water once everyone was done bathing. Now, I know this is most likely not true, okay? However, because otherwise, how would you throw a baby? The poor guy will just drown there without you actually realizing there was someone within that. But we use it in today's world, in today's language, the use of the language, with the fact that don't get rid of something good just because you want to get rid of something bad in your life or ideas or something like that.
So you also use it like a verb?
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Yeah, and most likely in negative.
Yeah, please, always negative. It wouldn't be nice if you say it positively.
For sure. But perhaps now that you have all the picture in your mind, don't throw out the baby with the water bath, would come easier in certain context where you just tell people not to get rid or not to discard certain things which are good just because you are attempting of getting rid of things.
There you are.
Because there's something negative there. Okay, and I have the last one. This is pretty British. Okay, to mind your P's and your Q's.
Mind your P's and your Q's?
Yeah.
So...
Sorry, I should have done it. To mind your P's and your Q's. Sorry, you guys, if you're watching me, like making fun of it. But it's so fun. The British accent, it's very suitable for drama.
Yeah, when I try to imitate the British accent, this is a disclaimer, by the way. I'm not making fun of that. I'm making fun of myself because I'm like really bad at imitating that accent.
I remember once we had a really beloved teacher with us. He's British, like an amazing guy. And I don't know what happened, but my sister especially, who worked here, she kind of felt the need of exaggerating the British accent whenever she was talking to him. Okay, so that was like, imagine like someone trying to resemble the Queen of UK speaking to poor Ryan, who was like, it's like, yeah, you're funny, but you're exaggerating the
why are you doing this?
The accent. But it was fun because when you talk to someone who has this like really British accent, there's something unconscious, coming out of you trying to speak similarly. Like what?
There you are. Yeah.
But anyhow, so to mind your P's and your Q's is to be on your best behavior.
Ah, okay. I thought that it was more like mind your own business.
No, is to be on your best behavior.
Gotcha. Okay.
And of course, like many of the things we've just seen today, there are many origin and possible stories for this one. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now, perhaps the most fun one, I'm not sure whether the most common one, but the most fun one is that bartenders would keep track of the pints and quarts consumed by their patrons with the letter P and Q.
Nice.
Okay, so if you mind your P's and Q's, meaning that you're a fair person and you behave as you should.
Nice.
That was an
Okay,
interesting
nice.
one,
I
right?
love how good behavior is related to drinking beer. Likes.
Okay, and you guys listening to us and trying to figure out how can I use this expression? We're basically again in like common conversations.
Yeah.
Again, even in official exam, where you to do a role play with someone, you can tell, mind your behavior is like mind your P's and Q's. And I believe that eventually most of the situation can actually, be suitable for everything we've seen today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you can just practice a little, like changing a little bit your vocabulary. For instance, I don't know, you want to say, nah, that's not difficult. Try to change it. Practice several times saying, oh, I can do that without breaking a sweat. Or
Yeah.
something like that. Or like say, or with other cases, for instance, hey, tell me what's going on. Why are you like taking so long? It's like, don't beat around the bushes. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, practice a little, like think about it and practice several times. Eventually, is going to come out naturally from your vocabulary.
Yeah, or even if you want to say, like behave or have a good behavior, that's a bit more Spanish. Most of the sometimes if we don't have like an alternative, we can just say thank you in Spanish. Have a good behavior or just behave. You can just say, mind your P's and Q's. Okay, so it's a different way of referring to it.
Yeah, there you are. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all on my end.
Yeah, that's all on my end as well. Yeah.
Guys, we're going to be leaving all the expressions you've heard in the description below. And if you are to actually watch our podcast, you might know because we're also on Spotify. But if you watch the podcast, you're going to be seeing all of these expressions and some interesting words on our video.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you are. So yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, that was
I had
really
a great
fun
time.
one.
I love talking about idioms.
Perhaps we can do like a different one in some months about different idioms.
Yeah, idioms 2.0.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Okay, bye. Bye.